Hello and welcome to the Unfiltered Truth. I am your host, Phil Robinson. With me, riding shotgun, as always, the incomparable, the almighty Phil Jones, NFL. What's going on, Phil?
Not much, man. Happy Friday to you guys. How you doing?
Love, good. Well, today we got a little special something for you to follow up Wednesday show. We got the Raiders digital reporter, Levi Edwards. Mr. Edwards, how are you today, sir?
What it do?
I'm doing good. It's Friday, so I can't complain. Can't complain about it being a Friday afternoon, my friend.
Outstanding. It's been a busy free agency period thus far, despite what many were fearing when they didn't go out and make a ton of moves on day one of the tampering period.
Yeah. I mean, as it turns out, they had a plan. It's just kind of, you're in the building and you're seeing all this stuff on social media, and it's just kind of split in between where you have like one half of fans that are like, oh, what are we doing? We haven't signed nobody. We're letting J.C. Jackson walk. We're letting all these guys walk. And then on the other side, you're like, yo, chill, relax. It's tampering. It's like the free agency hasn't even started yet. So I'm just kind of like, me try to be the impartial, unbiased reporter I am. I was just kind of a little bit in the middle where it was just kind of like, just intrigued more than anything. I was just waiting to see what happened. I was waiting to see what popped off, and it damn sure's popped off. I'll put it like that.
Nah, definitely. And again, everybody during that whole tampering period, they were like, we failed. We're gonna fall apart. I'm like, no. I was like, dude, I'm like, it's only the tampering period. These fools are freaking out like the Riddler and the Batman, bruh.
Yeah. It was funny because I just remember watching like NFL Network, and it was like everybody was like, going crazy, like, oh my God, look at everything that happened. And then NFL Network did something, and it was like their top 10 free agents that were like on the market. And like when you look at it, only like 2 or 3 out of the top 10 on the list had even been signed in the legal tampering process. And so I'm just over here just like, okay, well, me just as a person, I'm always trust the process. I'm always, just like stay grounded, just kind of see what happens, keep doing what you're doing. So that's kind of where my mindset was. I was just kind of like, it's a long process ahead. Let's see what happens. So.
Nah, definitely. And right when free agency started, we saw what Dave Ziegler basically did. And I think this video right here basically explains it. Went right into day one of free agency and just did this. Took care of business. Dove right in, bullseye, hit on it. Got the right components to the offense, to the defense. Took care of business.
Shout out Dave Z. He's a cool guy, by the way. in the few times I've met him, he seems pretty chill. I like Dave Z.
No, definitely. Like even just listening to him when he was talking during his press conference, when he was being introduced, and then listening to him during the combine, I'm like, this is an intelligent man that is now our general manager. He knows what he's saying, knows what he's doing, and so far it's shown through this free agency period.
Well, yeah, and it's one of those things where he's a competent guy, and he has surrounded himself around a lot of other competent guys that have had success and knows what success looks like. And that's the biggest thing about it, is he is with guys that he's familiar with, that he's had proven track records of doing great things with. I think another sneakily good person that's been a part of all of this is Champ Kelly. Champ Kelly being the assistant GM, I feel like he comes in, he gives a lot of great insight and a lot of great things that you might not see kind of in the open, because Dave Z, he's the head GM, but right behind him, you have Champ, and he's bringing in a lot of his guys and a lot of his coaches, and it looks really good just from the small things. So I have to also give him credit as well, and a lot of the things that the organization is doing. They've just really been killing it so far this offseason.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, especially Champ Kelly. I got a chance to see him at the Senior Bowl for I think it was what day 2, day 3. And he was just jumping from one part to the other part, just examining the linemen, examining some of the receivers and tight ends. And I'm just like, okay, let me keep my close eye on him. Let's see what he's looking at, what I need to look at so I can do my homework.
Yeah, no,
And
he's a scout at heart.
yep.
Absolutely.
The guys he's looking at, they on my list. And I'm just like, okay, I'm in the right ballpark. I ain't going to put it out there because I don't want to give away nothing. But I like what this front office is doing so far. We've always had a lot of fans run around and said, oh, the Raiders going to be competent, or they're going to do this, or they're going to do that. And since they came into Vegas, yeah, we had our ups and downs with, 2020 and 2021 season, but now everything looks like everything has fallen into place. You come off from going to the playoffs, going 10-7, you're just like, well, okay, we just got to upgrade the coaching staff. We're going to upgrade a few spots on the defense and on the offense. Now, a lot of people were a little shocked over the whole trade with Yannick, and then you signing Chandler Jones. But I'm thinking to myself, this is Chandler Jones. He arguably one of the top edge rushers in the NFL, and Ziegler and them just smooth walk right on in like nothing happened, signed him, and everybody's just like, oh, okay, yeah, they got Chandler Jones. Have you lost your mind to just wave that off? Even in his small season, he had about 10.5 sacks.
That was something that was kind of like, even being on in the inside of the building, that was one of those things where I didn't know that was going to happen. But it was a big gut feeling for me because, of course, you look at what we have to offer and you look at what Patrick Graham is trying to do. And for me, it was just kind of like, I just had to do my research, and I did it before. And so whenever it did get released that we were signing Chandler Jones, it was huge. But at the same time, I wasn't very surprised because if you do your research, you saw what Chandler Jones has done with Patrick Graham. You've seen what he's done in that defense, and you see that, he has that, not even just with Patrick Graham, but with several other coaches that the Raiders have on staff. He has that connection with. So it's just kind of one of those things where it's like, okay, well, it gave him the best opportunity to succeed because he got paid what he wanted. He's going somewhere in a situation that he wants to be in around guys that are very familiar with him, that know how to use him within that scheme. And then on top of that, you get to be on the other side of a defensive line with a guy who's about to be one of the emerging, if not already emerged as one of the top edge rushers in the league. So it really is just a good situation for him, and I was not surprised at all when the Raiders landed him. A lot of people can speculate about his age, but at the end of the day, he had 10.5 sacks last season. You can't take that away.
We can talk about age. We can go back. You look at, Khalil Mack's in his 30s. You can look at J.J. Watt. He's in his mid-30s. We can just go down a list of guys that have been top defenders in the NFL in their 30s and still been able to get it done.
Exactly.
He was almost 40.
So it's just if you take in today's NFL, if you have the skill set, if you have the mindset, and you take care of your body, like I know Chandler Jones does, if you do those three things, you can play as long as you want to in this league. So I'm very confident of what he'll be able to do, especially going into the system. I know a lot of those guys there, they'll have a lot to prove. It's not going to be a cakewalk, especially in this division. So, I'm not going to I'm not going to come out here and act like the Raiders are going to run the AFC West. All I can say is that I'm extremely excited to see what they produce on the field.
Now, the one thing I've noticed with that whole Chandler Jones signing, that's a big plus for a young edge rusher that we have on this team by the name of Malcolm Kuntz. He can just soak up and absorb everything that Chandler Jones has done or what he sees this year. Maybe try to match and imitate his game to it.
Most definitely. I think this is a really big plus for Malcolm Kuntz. He's a guy that it took him a little bit to get going, especially last season. And when he did get going, he started to look really good, especially in the limited amount of snaps he had. He had really good production.
Yeah.
So I really liked what I saw from him, and especially with him, even though he's a D end, he definitely is somebody who I could totally see Patrick Graham and their staff kind of turning into a outside linebacker kind of player who, will come in and situationally rush the quarterback. And I feel like that's even what he was brought in the original regime to do or to become. So really now that you have Chandler Jones on that team, it's almost kind of like you're fast tracking his development to a degree.
Absolutely. No, that's smart. But I mean, you look at this team overall right now. The defense, we're basically up. We basically upgraded the secondary. You added a few more pieces on the linebacking core, and then the D line. I know a lot of folks are like, "Yo, we're going to get a Stephon Gilmore. We're going to try to bring in a Honey Badger," but so far the pieces that you brought in for this team, it's a major impact either way. No matter who's on that defense right now, especially you brought in Harmon and Brown, those are good impacts.
I definitely think, and I wrote about it earlier today. So quick plug, you guys watching, go to Raiders.com.
Right.
But I wrote something about Brown just a little while ago, just kind of like, get to know piece, because I really do think that he is going to be a real impact signing. And when I say that, I mean, it's just kind of, it went a little under the radar just compared to everything else that's happened. You're coming off of the heels of Adams and Tyreek Hill and all these other crazy signings that's happening. But when you look at the tape and you look at what he did in Tennessee, he was a great linebacker.
Yeah.
And, he had a couple of injuries. He had a couple of things that had to do with the past 2 seasons. But if he gets healthy, he can go back to being a great linebacker. There a couple of years ago, he had an 81 PFF grade. He had over 100 tackles, and this wasn't like a long time ago. This was 19. So he's doing this in 18, 19. He's a very young guy, and now he's coming. He's getting a new change of scenery. He gets to come back to the West Coast, being a Long Beach guy. He gets put in a system with some guys that I feel like are going to be able to utilize him well, because in this defense that Patrick Graham is going to be using, you have to be a good coverage linebacker. It's just something that you have to be. So I feel that his abilities will be used properly if he just stays healthy. And I'm excited to see what potentially he could do, because I just think that's such an underrated signing that not enough people are talking about, in my opinion.
I was thrilled about it when I heard about it. Actually, when I first saw it, I was like, "Oh!" I was like, "Wow!" I'd forgotten that he was available, and that when they picked him up, it was like, finally, the linebacking core has been addressed. Not that I'm not happy with the linebackers that we have already, but you can always add some more, and you'll never ever hear me complain about having too many linebackers to play in this league. But I was curious on your thoughts on the corners that we've signed and the ability to play man coverage and the emphasis that Patrick Graham has placed upon it.
I honestly, so far, I like what I've seen from them so far with what they've done with signing just players in the secondary, especially you talking about they just went out and got Harmon. You make that trade to get Rocky Sin, and I think Rocky Sin is a is a great player as well. He's kind of developing, and he was used as a rotational piece in that Colts defense. But I think he's a guy, like you said, when you talk about man coverage, he was one of the best in man coverage last year. I believe he only allowed, I think he had like a 27% completion rating on man coverage last season. So that means maybe 1 out of 4 times you go up against him in man coverage, you'll win. That's what that means. So it's like he's good, and I was really high on him coming out of Temple with his background, and he just seems like a really, even keel, level-headed kind of guy. So I like that. I feel like those are 2 really great additions, and honestly, I don't think they're done. When it comes to the secondary, you got Trayvon Mullen coming back, and I think this is going to be a big year for him to prove that he can be the guy that he was drafted back in 19 to be. I think this will be a big cornerstone year for him. You have Nate Hobbs coming off of the rookie year he had, and he was fantastic for what he was in the situation he was as a rookie. So I'm excited, and then I think you're going to see a lot more of what Trayvon Merrick can do as well, with the fact that he was used in Gus Bradley's system as more of just like a single high kind of guy, just to make sure that nobody the last line of defense kind of guy. He was the guy who was going to come up and make the tackle. He was going to go downfield and make sure that he wasn't going to take out the long ball. But I think in this defense, you're really going to see the real Trayvon Merrick. You're going to see sideline to sideline, getting after it, making plays Trayvon Merrick. Not saying that he wasn't that in the previous defense. I just feel like that he's going to be unleashed. He's a Jim Thorpe Award winner. Watch the highlights, see what he's done when he was at TCU. I feel like you're going to see a lot more of that, especially coming into his second year, more sure of himself, more sure of the league. I think he's somebody who I think is going to be poised to be the star of the secondary out of anybody right now.
I can agree with you on that one, especially he has some ball hawk skills. So him being able to not just have to sit back there and be that last line of defense, I can go around, move, and I can grab some picks.
Exactly. And that was
stop playing my man like this. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh man.
He was my fault about that. He was I really do think that is important, is what I was going to say. It's because the one thing that the Raiders defense, I feel like the Raiders defense was very good, very competent last year. I think the one thing that they lacked in was turnovers. They didn't produce enough turnovers. And in this game, turnovers just mean so much, not even just from the sense of like, okay, you're giving your offense back the ball. It's a momentum swinger. Whenever you get a turnover, you can just feel the shift of energy in a game. And that's what you need. So for him to be able to come out and be a ball hawk, because I've seen it myself. I saw it in training camp. He has great coverage skills, arguably some of the best coverage skills on the team right now. So I'm really excited to see what he can do. I think he'll definitely get unleashed in this system. And on top of that, I don't think they're done. I think they're probably gonna get another corner in free agency, and I think possibly even make a draft pick corner as well. I think they might go after a corner maybe in the 4th or the 5th. Of course, that's just what I think. I'm not here, speaking on behalf of the team saying this is what they're going to do, but just I think it is a very, very likely possibility, I would say.
I don't know. You might be right. Could grab a guy like Kobe Bryant from out of Cincinnati. He just had his pro day. He ran a 4.4.
Over there, telling
I really like Kobe Bryant.
I do too. I honestly, I've been looking at the draft boards and can't fathom how they have him so low. But
it's all a size thing. That's all it is. Kobe Bryant's a smaller guy. That's really all it comes down to. I feel like Kobe is just as talented as Sauce, but when it comes down to it, Sauce is 6'3", 220, lengthy, just as fast as Kobe. That's what it comes down to. So he's really gonna, once Kobe gets into the league, wherever he goes, he's just gonna have to be real gritty. He's just gonna have to go out there and he's gonna want it more than somebody else. That's just what it comes down to. And I wrote about another guy also by the name of Kobe Durant from South Carolina State. He just won the MEAC Defensive Player of the Year award, and he was one of the 4 HBCU prospects to get invited to the combine. I feel Kobe Durant is in the same situation as a Kobe Bryant, where you have a guy who's sticking coverage, is blazing fast. He ran a 4.38 at the combine. It's kind of everything you want, but when it comes down to it, he's 5'10", 170 pounds, 175 pounds. And so it's one of those things where you have a guy who can do it all. He just does not have that prototypical NFL size. But when it comes down to it, if you have all the things that you can't teach, then everything else will fall in place. And, you're in the NFL, if you have the mindset, if you have the skill set, it doesn't matter what your size is coming in, they'll make sure they get you to the size you need to be.
Right.
That's just my mindset.
I agree with you. And again, we look at the pieces we've added in, and they don't have to be like guys that are going to be coming in to have to be immediate starters. They can sit back, observe, and then work on competing for a spot. Who knows? I mean, like you said, with Kobe, I think he's just going to have to want it. I think he's just going to have to go in and just start clawing some guys.
And that's pretty much what he said in the tweet that he put out most recently about how he's always been an underdog and always had to prove himself. And when you adopt that chip on your shoulder mentality and understand that you don't expect anything to be given to you, then you'll be successful, because you'll never lose. You'll never lose track of that. You'll never lose track of the love for the grind, knowing what it feels like to be undervalued and have to prove yourself at every juncture. Because often in this league, that's what separates elite from regular talent, is that extra drive to continue to push to be better, because you still feel as though you have to prove yourself, not as though you've arrived.
But I think it really came from, because he's only 6'1". I'm just like, damn, they're really looking at him like he's just nothing. But I think it came from the injury. He had the spinal surgery. That was I think it was back in June. So it was about 9 months ago. And I'm just like, this man came into the season and was able to show everybody what he can do. I mean, yeah, you got sauce, but I'm just like, it really does bug me that he's that low. But you know what? Hey, you know what? I'm not even going to say nothing. Let him stay low. Because we can grab him if it's a possibility.
I mean, whatever, like I said, whatever happens, you have to be in this. I'm not going to speak for this man, but when it comes down to it, you have to have a little bit of a chip on your shoulder, considering it's not even like, of course, he hasn't done it on the next level, and that's still to be seen. But it's like, imagine being named the top cornerback in the nation. You're a Jim Thorpe Award winner, top cornerback in the nation. Your team goes undefeated in the regular season. You get to the playoffs, and you're Cincinnati Group of 5 school, first Group of 5 school to ever make it into the playoffs for college football.
Yep.
And you are selected, or you are considered the top at your position, and you're still considered a 3rd to 4th round guy coming out of the draft. So I can't speak for him, but at the same time, like, I know that has to be playing something in his role, in his mind. That has to play a role in how he's going to operate once he gets to the league.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I'm just a fan of this game. So wherever he gets drafted, whoever feels like they want to take a chance on him, I'm excited to see what he can do, because he's one of the more exciting, intriguing prospects that I've had the time to be able to cover, just getting ready for the draft. So it's going to be a good one.
Yep.
Appreciate you, brother, and I sure will. Thank you.
Appreciate
it. Drinks on him tonight.
Right?
All in all, what's been your favorite move?
Of the offseason?
Yes.
Davante Adams. My apology. 100%, without a doubt, Davante Adams. You go out and you trade 2 draft picks to get the best receiver in the game. Not just the best receiver in the game. You go out and get the best receiver playing with his old college quarterback that he's good friends with, that he has chemistry on and off the field with,
Yeah.
that you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry like, oh, these guys are going to click. Like, they're going to click. They did click for 3,000 yards and like 30 touchdowns in 2 years. So you don't have to worry about it. So that's probably been my favorite move. He seems like a very level-headed guy. He has a quiet confidence to himself. He seems, from everybody who I've talked to, he's a grinder. The way that he prepares to go into games is like no other. And there's a lot of good receivers in this league. And, I'm not going to say Davante Adams is, everything's just so subjective. You know what I mean? Like, some people are going to say Davante is the best. Some people are going to say D-Hop's the best. People are going to go with Debo. You can go whoever you want. But when it comes down to it, Davante Adams is one of the best in the game. 99 on Madden, if that means anything to any of you.
Yeah.
So you're going out and you're getting a 99 rated receiver on Madden to come play for your team. And you're putting him next to Darren Waller and you're putting him next to Henry Renfro. So I find it harder to find a more exciting or better move that the Raiders have made this offseason. I feel like they killed it on that. People can say whatever they want to about, okay, well, he's 29 going into this deal. Like, nobody cares. It is Davante Adams in his prime.
I mean, nobody wasn't saying that about AB a couple years ago. Nobody isn't saying that's about Tyreek Hill. He's about the same age as him. And I feel like the Chiefs went on and they got they got a whole bunch out of Miami. I'm like, you got what, 6 picks? 6
5.
picks.
Five.
Oh, 5? Shit. It feel like 6. Looking at that, I was like, damn.
They got enough.
Look back and forth. But Davante Adams, you look at what? He was one of your top receivers in scoring, yards, reception. I'm just like, what's the problem? Everybody wants to go on and back down like, oh, well, he's just a good route running receiver. I'm like, oh, that's what we're going at? We're just going to downplay him? Because weren't you licking your chops over him just maybe what? About 15 weeks ago? Weren't you saying this and that? I hate to say it, but it's just guys really, they got it out for the Raiders. The hate is real.
Now, he can't comment on that.
I know, but I'm just saying that's me. That's me. He ain't gotta answer it. I'm just saying it. That's coming from me. I'm sorry. I ain't giving you
set that man up like that. You a cold piece of work. Some host you are.
Like I said, I'm just a fan of the league. When it comes down to it, I'm a fan of this game. Whatever happens, happens. Whatever. I mean, it's not just the Raiders thing. You look at every single NFL team. There's 32. All 32 teams have to come over some type of obstacles to reach their goal. There's not ever been an easy path to get to success in this league, ever. Nor in any league. That you can talk about super teams. You can talk about rules and regulations, all that. There's no easy way to succeed. Everybody has to put in an absurd amount of time, energy, and work into getting to where they need to go. I feel the Raiders did that last season, being able to put in everything that they did to still get to the playoffs. Whatever happens. Bad calls happen, bad decisions happen. But it is what it is. Something that I loved last year when everything was going down is Hunter Renfro and Yannick. When people were asking them questions, and I'm in the interviews, and people are asking them about this and that and all the other, and they kept it real simple. They were like, "We're just like anybody else who has problems at their job that they got to fix, and it's just kind of like it doesn't matter what job you have, you're gonna have problems and you're going to have situations that come across in as your profession or in life, and you have to deal with it, and it's not an excuse. And that's what it comes down to. There's no excuses for anyone. So that's all I'm going to say on the matter.
I
No,
agree.
no doubt, no doubt. We'll switch it up on you and get to wrestling because I know that's why you came on. So
Cassie
what do you think?
Kane and them
What do you
North.
think about the prize? AEW still got the nose up on WWE headed into WrestleMania.
Um, I wouldn't say nose up. I would definitely say I think the only nose up I would say is the fact that um they're using fresh talent. You know, you're still using guys and still exposing guys that you might have not heard of or guys that deserve the attention. Of course, AEW, you know, they need to be a little bit more careful about how they use certain talent. You know, you see a lot of the old heads, you know, and like I said, I love the Hardy Boys. I love Sting. I love Chris Jericho. I love all those guys. Um, but when it comes down to it, they're there, but they're legends. But at the same time, you got to also be pushing the company forward. And what they're doing with Hangman Page, I really do love. I think that they're them trying to push him to be the face of the company is good. Young, fresh guy. What they're doing with Darby Allin, putting him with Sting, I feel like that's a really good move as well. So I like where they're coming from in the sense of just pushing new talent. So that's the one edge up I'll give them over WWE. But at the same time, um, WWE they're still kind of top dog. They've been putting, you know, I haven't really paid too much attention to kind of exactly what's been going on. I know really all I know at this point is you got, you know, a main event that you've already gotten twice. Um, really only thing to be excited about is that the roles are reversed, where it's like, you know, you have, you know, Roman being the dastardly heel, and you have, you know, the characters just kind of switched up, but it's the same thing. Um, you have Flair and Rousey, who's going to main event, and that's kind of the same thing. They've already done that. So you know, I'm excited for them to have their match, but at the same time, you know, really out of that whole pay per view, the only thing that I feel like is going to be worth even watching or paying attention to is AJ Styles versus Edge. That's probably going to be the best match on the card. They're probably going to
Yeah.
really get after it. Um,
You think Edge can hang with AJ at top speed?
I mean, they're both pretty similar in age, and just from what I saw out of Edge with what he did with Seth Rollins, I feel like he still has it. He's probably had a couple of months off to kind of like get back up to speed and kind of train and get ready for it. You know, he's
Mm-hmm.
not where he used to be. Of course, he can't be out there doing, you know, doing what he's doing. We used to do every night, but I think he always has one or two good matches he can pull out every other couple of months, especially in this last run of his career. And I think, you know, it's really hard to find a bad AJ Styles match. Uh, so I find it very hard for them to blow it.
All right, a business order. We got our man Rick Grimes here with check down Charlie, throws for 1550 and 11 TDs and 123 targets like Hall of Fame Rogers can do. Friends fade. I don't see that one happening, but thank you for that, Rick.
Uh, when it comes down to that, I mean, it's just I think they'll both definitely have good seasons, but when it comes down to it, there's just a great problem to have for Derek Carr. He just has too many weapons. There's just no way he's going to be able to. There, not that there's not no way, but I'm saying is Derek Carr has an embarrassment of riches as his weapons now. So it's just going to be. I feel like a lot of people are going to get a very good even distribution of work on the field.
Right. No, I think there is actually before we get off that particular subject. I got the over under for targets for Davante Adams at 180. What do you think? What do you got?
No way.
You said 180.
I was about to say,
Carr threw
didn't Randy Moss get like
626
180 targets when he was like in Minnesota?
Carr threw 626 passes last season. Keep that in mind. He got his absolute favorite receiver of all time history of ever.
Like I said, just too many weapons. Do I think Derek Carr will go over 5,000 yards passing if he stays healthy? Absolutely. I
I do
will.
too.
I believe
I
that
expected.
Yeah.
for
I
sure.
expect.
He had 4,800 last year with Waller out for about 6 games. I mean, come on. I think that I definitely think that that's realistic. 180 targets. Like I said, I feel like, and even Davante said that. Davante said that in his opening
185.
press conference. He said, I'm not going to come here. Of course, he said, of course, I'm a volume guy. I get, I'm going to get the work in that I'm going to get. But he straight up said, like, I'm not going to be selfish. I know who I'm playing around. I just want to win games. And whoever gets the ball is going to get the ball. I'm not going to worry about, what the media thinks I should be doing or how many targets the media thinks I should be getting. Like, when it comes down to it, he still has one of the best tight ends in the league and one of the best
Yeah.
slot receivers in the league next to him. Not to forget, you have Kenyon Drake coming back, and Kenyon
Yeah.
Drake is a great asset. Josh Jacobs is a great asset. You just have so many guys. I'm not saying Davante Adams isn't going to have a good year. Davante Adams is definitely he is who he is, and he's back with one of his favorite quarterbacks, like you said, ever. But I just feel like it's just going to be so much going on.
Yes.
Everybody's got to eat.
Absolutely.
And you need everybody to eat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you want everybody to eat. I mean, I want to have it be where I got to spread the love. Everybody wants to get a taste.
No. If I'm the Raiders, I need Davante Adams to get double, triple teamed, over the top, so I can have Hunter Renfrow coming on a 1-on-1 in the middle of the field. I need that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm here for all of it, so Darren Waller can stop seeing safety over the top
Safeties.
waiting for him. Yeah,
Exactly.
Just
or
let
just
Darren
the
Waller run
period.
free and just stiff arm everybody.
No, Darren Waller. The past 2 years, Darren Waller hasn't been going up against linebackers. Darren Waller is going up against your strong or your free safety.
Yeah.
Or your cornerback. Week 1, Marlon Humphreys. I saw Marlon Humphrey on Waller a handful of snaps. That's your starting cornerback on your tight end. What does that say? So having Davante be on this team is just going to open up so much for everybody else. So, if Davante doesn't break records this season, if he's not out here getting 180 targets, that's cool. It probably still means the Raiders are still having a successful season because he's making the people around him better. And that's what Davante Adams came to the Raiders to do, to make his team better, to make his quarterback better. So all for it.
The other thing about it, Phil, you're actually right. It can be done. He had 169 targets last year, and then 2 seasons ago.
Yeah, it's a crazy number to think about, but with the extra game that you get in the season, it's not entirely unreachable.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's not that what 180 targets comes out to be what, almost a little over 10 a game, 12 a game. That's not beyond the realm of possible fathomability.
And here's the thing: you don't take your gas pedal on scoring. You don't take the foot off the gas pedal. You just keep going.
Run up scores. I'd like to start seeing some scores be run up. Okay, real quick. I know you're running up against it, Levi, and I do appreciate your time. We had Paul Levesque, most commonly known as Triple H, retired from in-ring work, and so that's kind of interesting especially when given the fact that you hear that like he was a day away from no longer being with us from heart failure. Like he caught it right at the right time, and
yeah.
That whole situation is crazy. And I knew, it was good to see him come out and be open about his situation because he was just kind of like, when I first heard about it, it was, pretty scary, but you don't really know the full grasp of how everything went. You just kind of figured, okay, well, something small happened and, he's Triple H will get over and he'll be all right. But for him to have gone through what he did is, while it is sad, it's also, God was by his side to be able to get him through it. And I'm glad that he's still with us. And that's the most important thing. He has 3 girls and a wife. That happens to be the daughter of the person who runs the company. But he had, it's good that he can still be there for his family. And at the end of the day, I don't think people are sad. When I say people are sad, I don't think people are sad about Triple H retiring because they wanted one more match or anything like that because he left it all out there. There's nothing else he has to prove. There's no other matches that you really want to see him have when it comes
Right.
down to it. It's just one of those things where it's just kind of like the closing of your childhood to a degree. That's kind of what it feels like. And it's the same way I felt when Kobe retired. It's the same way I felt when KG retired, Dirk, AI. Those were those guys like that I looked up to when I was younger, that I watched play ball. That's what got me into basketball. And so when I saw those guys leave, that was, like damn. And that's the same way I feel now with, with Triple H, with The Undertaker, those guys. Those were the guys that got me into wrestling when I was like real big into it. And so now you see those guys, they're stepping down. And, when you have those kind of generational talents that have such a huge influence on, on who you are in your life, it's crazy. When it comes down to it, I'm just glad that he's still with us. He's definitely one of my personal top 3 wrestlers all time. And something that I saw earlier today is that coincidentally his last televised match of all time was with Randy Orton in Saudi Arabia. And even though it was non-intentional, I feel like that probably would be the best retirement match Triple H could have. So, I hope that he continues to maintain his health and best of luck to him.
No, well said. Well said. But so I thank you for your time, Levi. It's always a good time to have you on, talk a little football, talk a little wrestling.
No doubt. I'm glad you guys got me on here. I'm glad that I could spend some time with you guys. I'm about to enjoy the rest of my Friday evening, enjoy the rest of my weekend, and get back to grind on Monday. So all you guys watching, just stay tuned. Raiders.com. We got some good stuff coming out. We got some more exciting news to break. So I'm always gonna make sure that I'm giving you guys the best content. So always stay tuned.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely,
yes, sir.
bro.
Levi Edwards. Take care, brother.
All right, take care, man.
Go read his stuff on Raiders.com. That is the Raiders digital reporter. So, like he said, he's got some news breaking. They got some good stuff coming out. We'll be on the lookout for it. And he's got his corner that he was looking at, Jacoby Durant. I was actually pulling up some tape on him and watching him. It's a nice little safety. That 5'11" thing though, that's gonna be an issue. 175 pounds. That's a light corner, and there's some big wide receivers in the AFC West. But that's pretty much all I got for today. You look at what this front office. I take that back. You look at what this front office has done, and I put out a tweet earlier today, or yesterday, I believe. From this front office went from not making any moves and being sitting on their hands at the beginning, first day illegal tampering period, to making 22 signings and only really turning over 5 players. This was a 10-win team last season that added an awful lot of talent to the depth. They all added a lot of talent to the starting core. What they did with this wide receiving core, I was actually on Raider Gabe's podcast. We'll leave the title alone. But Martwan had brought up a great point in this, and it was that this front office came out and allocated all of their resources where they thought it needed most improvement.
Yeah.
And the line was brought back in its entirety. And they let all the wide receivers who weren't under contract go. And
to tell you something.
Yeah. They believe in this quarterback. They believe in this offensive line. They believed in this running back core that they have. And with a little bit of coaching, a better scheme. And this is the part that, as I was sitting here talking to Levi, and it kind of came across me, and I was thinking. So we talk about what Josh McDaniels can and can't do as a coach, but as an offensive coordinator, Josh McDaniels has beaten every single team in the conference repeatedly. When it mattered in the regular season and the preseason, he's beaten them all multiple times, knows how to attack all of these defensive coordinators. No moment is going to be too big for him. And
see, and because you said that, I went back. I was thinking, even when he was coaching at Denver, he was able to still put up points. He still had like a top offense within the red zone. Problem is, it was just you had a few hiccups, or the defense wasn't clicking.
Didn't know people. He said it himself. He knew a little bit of football, but didn't know nothing about people. Said and nothing will help you learn people like the benefit of time and years. Yeah. Said I know more about people, far more than when I was your age, young man.
But like I've said, Raiders are in a situation right now where let people sleep on you. Let everybody just look at you as, oh yeah, I think they're only going to be probably about an 8 or 9 win team. Let them keep thinking that, because that just shows you that, all right, you want to sleep on us? We going to come out here to fuck shit up.
Like gangbusters. We'll come out
we going to knock your dick in the dirt.
Any defensive Pro Bowlers? Yeah, we should have
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Resident KC hater. You know what? Forget all of that. You chose a franchise to be a fan of with Brittany Matthews as its first lady. I look at your quarterback and I feel nothing but pity. And this is for the Chiefs quarterback. I should be celebrating this and praying for a long union. And I cannot wait, Phil, to see all of the Chiefs fans talking a gang of shit about the TikTok duos you're going to see with Juju and Jackson.
God.
And it's coming. You know it's coming.
What is what's going to look like?
No, bro. No.
Hey, look. First. Yeah. Oh. Andy Reid's supposed to have Juju run a play out there. All Juju knows the dance. Andy Reid's reaction.
No! Oh!
am more concerned about the Broncos than the Chiefs right now. I'm not.
Hmm.
They didn't really make any massive upgrades to that defense, and our offense had their way with them with Greg Olson as the offensive coordinator.
Yeah, them.
The Raiders can run all over the Broncos at will. So until that changes, I'm really not concerned about them.
Nah,
Russell Wilson can't beat you from the sidelines.
Shit, he said he ain't dancing in the game. Watch.
Ho 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 ho. Oh, you know what? I'm just gonna let you experience it in real time. I'm not even gonna tell you what you got coming.
Yeah.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad
Oh,
you fell on that night for us. I was praying.
bruh. You know I got on my knees every morning. I said, Lord, please.
No.
Please don't let me have
Oh,
you saw my sin.
no.
Please, baby Jesus.
No.
Please, baby Jesus.
Broncos are as worthless as tits on a porcupine. Chiefs fan on the Raiders podcast, that should tell you something, Closet Raider fan. Listen, Kate, everyone is welcome here. This is a safe place to talk about Raider football. Yes. And if he wants to come and speak about Raider football and throw in his casual barbs about the good old Kansas City barbecue and the strength of Kansas City toilet paper, then let him. By all means.
Be like that, Mr. McCown.
I mean, because he got choo-choo and his TikToks. And I watched
he already did a TikTok already.
I watched the first TikTok, and that was cringe-worthy at best. At best, it was just like, will this end? No, it's still going. It's still going.
Juju TikToking ass.
Thank you, Rich. I appreciate that.
Yes, Mr. Reach.
KC fans will be back to rooting for the Vikings before they see another Super Bowl. How long was Reed's running? Philadelphia? Because he's pushing year 9, right? He's put year 9, 10. Let me look at this.
No, Andy Reid was in Philly since what, 90?
Hold on, we don't need to guess.
95.
We don't need to guess.
95.
He started in 99, fool.
Was it 99? Damn.
Yeah. So he spent 14 years in Philly, 9 with Kansas City so far, going into year 10. Yeah. Could be winding into the twilight. You can only stay on top for so long.
Yeah, I agree. Can't sleep on him.
You can't sleep. No, I would never.
Nah, I mean, like, shoot, you got
like Ric Flair said, in order to be the man, you got to beat the man. And there is no substitutes for that, no shortcuts. In order to be the man, you got to beat the man. I feel as though the Raiders can be the man and beat the man at the same time. Patrick Graham, and not only him, but the Baltimore Ravens defense did very well against the AFC West this season. And when I say Baltimore, you look at Anthony Averett and what he was able to do against the Chiefs, what Baltimore was able to do against the Chargers. With the DBs that we had, we were already good against the Broncos. And nobody's made any real receiver moves except for us, except for the Raiders. We now have 3,000-yard pass catchers on the team. You got a guy who's looking to prove himself, a couple guys who are looking to prove themselves. Oh, welcome to membership. Raider Rich is unfiltered. And Cincinnati owns you. You got a window, but it's small. But at the same time, you recognize that the window is open, and that's something that I said on one of my tweets a couple days ago. Because with the moves that the Raiders have made, they are pushing the chips to the middle of the table. They'll have a little bit more to go all in with next year, but it would appear that right now the Raiders are playing with a large bankroll with money to gamble with. You look deep in thought, sir.
Oh. So it's something I was thinking about. It feels like, maybe it won't happen. Or maybe it will happen. What if someone gets traded to us soon and it's your backup? Napoleon Dynamite.
In a second, we're going to get to a point, Phil, where I'm just going to simply stop speaking about quarterbacks with you. I'm just not going to do it no more. I'm just saying. Drawn into this tomfoolery and this chicanery. What if hell froze over? What if pigs flew? What if I won a lottery? But why can't we have what ifs like that? Why in the hell would I trade for a backup?
I didn't say crave. I'm just saying.
You didn't say trade. That was the first thing you said. What if we trade for someone?
No, we don't trade for, but they try to get them off. And, just like, hey, we're even throwing draft picks.
I told you I'm not going to be drawn down this path. You will go down this path. The path will steer you wrong into the thicket, into the woods. You about to get lost.
About to get lost.
I'm not going there. For everybody that says yes, there's an equal, if not more, amount of people that say no. And yet, somehow it continues to come up. So somewhere, somebody is talking about it. Somewhere. Scott, I told you we're not going to humor this. We're not going to feed into it. We're not going to fan Phil's flames over here.
Oh my gosh, I will just
feed into this. Don't do it. Just don't do it. He does not need any encouragement whatsoever. Some things fish.
You know what?
All right. Some things fish.
Some things fish.
Who do you guys got to back up Carr? Honestly, I hope that the guys that they have backing up Carr currently aren't even camp arms to be on. I would completely like to have somebody else, but it's interesting that they had Trevor Siemian in.
Well, he signed with the Bears today. That's why I was saying that, sir.
Listen, Ricky Bobby, Don't you put that evil out there in the universe. I'm not gonna let you do that here on this show. Because everybody that we said they should sign, somebody else swooped him up. Now the one guy that I don't want will be the one that you talk into signing.
Nah, Fitzpatrick, nah.
No, don't even put that into existence. Said I'll have to club you with the baby seal.
So you want Garrett Gilbert backing up?
Did you not? Clearly, you weren't paying attention.
Okay, but
I just got through saying I didn't even want them to be camp arms.
But so you want them what? Draft somebody?
I'd rather.
So what you trying to say? Take somebody in the 3rd round, 4th round? What?
It depends on what the board looking like. You never know what could happen in a particular situation like this. If you really want to roll that dice and see what's really popping, you could go a lot of different ways and see what's really going down, because there's not really anybody quarterback needy in the league right now, except for possibly Seattle. So there's a lot of quarterback. Now, I didn't get a chance to catch Matt Corral's pro day. Did you?
Magnificent. That arm is real.
But Kenny Pickett and those small hands. That's my strong hand.
Take my strong hand. But fucking Desmond Ridder dropping 70-yard bombs.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, you want to get somebody. Yeah, you can get somebody that's young. Get them in that can learn under Carr, and if you want to try to develop them, see what you can get with them, or hey, just he's a good backup.
No, there's not. No, I don't think that's necessary. Not then, and that's the unique position of where this front office has put us in, is that with the talent on the team, with the depth that's suddenly on this roster on both sides of the ball, which before we go and we tear up Gruden and Mayock for all of the bad decisions that they made, we also have to acknowledge the good. They put together a 10-win team that made the playoffs.
Yep.
They put together a team with enough core pieces around it that you could continue to stack on it with better and better players to produce a better and better result. Now, their shortcomings were obviously in drafting, but this particular regime should be better at it. And next year they'll have, albeit a lot less cap space than they were going to have. They'll still have plenty of it to work with, and to continue shaping this team with the old talent and with the whole new crop that they plan on getting.
Nah.
Yeah, he was on earlier, about 40 minutes, 45 minutes. Right, you guys are sleeping on Bryan Edwards. Give him a chance. Yeah. Give him a chance. You want him to start. You probably want him to be starting opposite of Davante Adams. I'm telling you, give Bryan Edwards a chance. In a proper offense, with you running his skill set, he's going to eat. Our offensive line is better than yours. You should have fixed yours first. Shit. Anyway, my wife has come in here multiple times complaining about why am I still live on a Friday night. It's 8 o'clock out there? No, it's later than that for you. It's going on into the evening. Oh, this ought to be good.
Hey yo,
Please don't tell me I'm gonna have to strangle you.
no, it went viral, bro.
Please don't tell me I have to strangle you. Allegedly,
it went viral. Phil, it went viral.
No. I refuse to admit it. I refuse to recognize it.
It went viral.
Nobody can see it.
I say it went viral. Even
Lucius Davis or Mark Lucius Davis over there.
even the person that has her own statue that plays for the Las Vegas Aces is getting a kick out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Just know. I've done the Lord's work.
Mark has got you back. All right, y'all. With that, it's the end of Unfiltered Truth. It's been a pleasure. Catch us tomorrow evening, 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern, for the After Dark main show. Then for our members only, we will have the After Dark members only show, aptly named, starting at 9, going to whenever. Pull up, join, first become a member, choose the After Dark membership, or become one of the Unfiltered. Till then.
Hey, hold on real quick. I just got to say this. Y'all have a positive weekend, a great one, and you want to dive into everything just like Dave Ziegler here. We out.